Hey guys, good morning. This is Dan. Welcome to Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. And for those of you that follow me over on Patreon, thank you so very much for the subscriptions. I greatly appreciate them. This is the new weekly forecast. It's starting on Sunday, December 26th, and it is going through the first Saturday of the 1st of January. Wow, New Year's Day. Interesting how they fall perfectly on the weeks this week. So, hopefully you all had a good holiday. Those of you that celebrate, whatever holiday you do celebrate, whether it's Kwanzaa or Hanukkah or Christmas or any other type of Yule celebration, hopefully you enjoyed that and had a peaceful time of it. With my readings, for those of you that are new, they are originally created for a certain date and time, but they're not specific to that time. So if you're seeing this on a date that falls somewhere else between, outside of the dates that I just stated, it's fine. You can still watch the video. There might still be a message in here that pertains to your situation. I do believe that our own higher powers or our higher self can find the messages and get them to us when we need them rather than when, they were originally created. So pay close attention to that. If anything sounds right or works in your life and it makes sense, great. Feel free to utilize it. If it doesn't, leave it. You can not have to worry about it. You're not doing anything wrong. Nothing is broken. It's just maybe not your reading at this time, okay? So it's very flexible and it's take what you need, leave the rest kind of thing. So it's a lot of fluidity with these readings. Now, each card that I pull, since this is the Sunday weekly, these are considered the underpinning energies. This is giving us an outlook into the week as to what's to come for the majority of us. It may not be for all of us, but for the majority of us, we may experience these cards. Each card will signify for about a day or two of the week. It could be that we might experience all of these cards and then some. Some of us may only get stuck on one of these cards' energies throughout the whole week. It really depends on, your trajectory, your focus, and where your attention is being placed in your life. Beyond that, please check out the drop-down menu because on the daily videos, it gives a little bit about what decks I'm using, how to follow me on social media, how to get in contact with me if you have a question or want to book a private reading. All that stuff is included in the drop-down. So let's get into this and see what the cards have to say before the year ends out. So our first card for the week is, interesting, the Queen of Pentacles. Are my cards inverted? Oh no, somehow half the deck got inverted. The Queen of Pentacles did come out inverted. I don't necessarily always do inversions, but let me just look at what cards come out and how they come out, and I will determine whether or not I want to use the inversion with this Queen of Pentacles. It could just be a shuffling mistake on my side. But oftentimes the Queen of Pentacles, first off, she's Earth, right? She's the Earth symbol, or she's the Earth element, which is about material goods. She's about providing. She's about nurturing, right? She's sort of like that giver, goddess, Earth, mother energy, right? She wants to give back to us. She wants to nurture us and care for us. If we find ourselves in that role with someone else or with a situation within our life, it could be highly beneficial to us. It could also show us sort of where our skill set is or where we can make a difference in a positive manner. Does that make sense? Because the Queen of Pentacles, she's going to be grounded. She's going to be nurturing and loving, kind, compassionate. She also is very ideal for helping to create and nurture new ideas into place. To me, she's sort of like the Empress Light, right? She's not as an intense version of the Empress, but she certainly has that ability to kind of bring about and give to those that she cares for, those that she loves, the things that they need, right? So she was inverted. So I want to see what the other two cards are and how they come out to see if I need to pay attention to that inversion. But that's her general meaning. And right now, we're in the holiday season, which is sort of the season of giving. So I kind of like that she shows up only from the standpoint Excuse me. It's not necessarily of giving gifts, but maybe of giving of ourselves, of our compassion, of our time, of our attention to others that might need it, and allowing them to sort of benefit from that. And also, the beauty about the Queen of Pentacles is she's very aware of that, right? She's aware of her kind, giving nature, and it's her strength. It's her strong point. She's very connected to her environment and connected to nature too. So these dogs are like wrestling in the other room. I'm gonna have to kill them. Um, uh, so if we find ourselves wanting to be more connected to nature, that would be her influence also, right? So if we find ourselves wanting to be outdoors, maybe even some quiet time, some introspection as we think about how to better lay out plans for the future, that would be definitely Queen of Pentacles energy to me too. And so I like that she's here, right? I feel like to me, the Queen of Pentacles would be about, even if we're not maybe dealing with a lot of other people, right? We can take care of ourselves in a certain way. Like to me, because she is Earth and she is Pentacles, she would be like the ultimate in self care, right? If there's something we want to do for ourselves, like if it's get a massage or take a long bath or, spend the early. Hold on, I gotta go separate these dogs. They are like running amok. 1 second, guys. What is going on? We cannot have this right now. Get in your kennels. Come on. I just can't have this because I know you're up to no good. Come on. Justin, come on, done filming. Come on. You guys are just wreaking havoc. Go in there. Thank you. You too, man. You can go in there too. Go on. I'll let you right back out when I'm done. Just that way I can keep my eyes on you. Thank you. Thank you. So as I was saying, sorry about that. They just get crazy when it's early in the morning and they've just woken up, and I just don't want them to like hurt anything, pee on anything, destroy anything while I'm not paying attention, which is very possible. So as I was saying, with the Queen of Pentacles too, if there's a moment here where we can, she would certainly indicate caring for others, right? But she can also indicate caring for ourselves, nurturing ourselves, maybe ringing out this year or beginning the last week of the year in a state of, okay, what is it that I need? And I know that sounds kind of like maybe a selfish statement, or some people might determine that as a selfish statement. But when it's the Queen of Pentacles to me, it's not. It's about like, how can I be in better health or physical wellness so that I can be a better version of myself for those around me? Does that make sense? And so her energy to me feels very connected into, especially with this card. And the reason why, where's my lovely pointer? The reason why is this three-pronged tree here. It's giving me mind, body, spirit vibes, right? Because I love threes in that nature. But it's also like almost stemming outside of her, right? So as she cares for herself, as she centers and grounds herself into her world and creates her world, as she self-cares for herself, she's able to branch out and be maybe a better version of herself to others in her world, not necessarily out of obligation, but because she desires to, right? Because she wants to. I love this flower at her heart too, right? She wants to be more giving, if that makes sense, right? Even if that giving is to ourselves first. I love all the fruit at the top of her card too, meaning there should be abundance coming from her within ourselves, right? For those of you that this is, you might be listening to me and going like, I don't feel like the Queen of Pentacles. I don't have any abundance. I don't feel grounded, blah, 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 blah. She is indicating that you can get to this place if you need to, if you want to put your attention towards it, if you want to set this as a goal, if you want to make this a focus of yours this week. Take some time to self-care. Take some time to sort of go into solitude and maybe align your three major aspects of self, your mind, body, and spirit, and then see what it is that you can provide to yourself or to others. It could be probably rather powerful, right? And it could be rather creative. And it is certainly going to better not only your situation, or your feelings of your situation, how you sit in your life, but also maybe the lives of those around you, right? Okay, so the next card for the midweek. Oh, interesting. Okay, we have card number 2, the High Priestess. This is one of the spookiest High Priestess cards I have ever seen in my life. Lots of feminine energy going on for this week, which I find interesting. She comes out upright. So let me just, yeah, we're good with the upright. I'm leaving the Queen of Pentacles upright. She just must have somehow been upside down. So, I mean, there might be some of you that inversion might feel that some of you aren't necessarily getting what you need. But I'm going to leave her upright and say that through, tarot card moving magic, you can shift your focus and get upright and get into the positivity of that Queen of Pentacles. You have to believe it though, right? Now, the High Priestess comes in at the midweek. She's major arcana. She ain't fucking around. I'm just going to be honest with you. She's associated with the sign of Pisces, right? And what do we have going on with the moon? The moon ends out in Sag. We've got Libra, Scorpio, and then Sag. So there's no Pisces moon energy right now, but that's okay. She's very much, as you can see, she has the different moons. She is a pillar card in the Major Arcana deck, so she's a very strong card. She's a very subtle card in the sense that she is about that intuitional knowing. She is about that sort of silent secrets, knowing things before they happen, understanding truth or revealing truth in due time, in due course, right? She's not a bad card per se. She's a card about trusting kind of our gut in a way, trusting that the information may be revealed when it's time rather than when we think we need it. She can be about secrets. Oftentimes she's about secret, like occult knowledge, right? So, and occult isn't necessarily a bad thing. You hear the word occult and everybody freaks out. Occult just means it's like a hidden knowledge, right? This card, though, to me, because of the web behind her and the darkness with which she presents, she's giving me a little bit of a, as far as high priestesses go, she's probably one of the more distant ones that I've seen in a deck, if that makes sense. She plays with both light and dark. She plays with both spirit and matter. She plays with both, all of the polarities, and she has an understanding of them all. Right? So we need to the way that I want to say this is I almost feel like the steadiness with which the Queen of Pentacles kicks us off with this week and the self-care that we take in the first few days of the week prepares us for the intuition and the guidance that the High Priestess is going to give us, right? Now that's going to come more from intuitionally, from inside of ourselves, from a thought, from a whim, from a drive, from a pull in our gut, right? But we have to be paying attention to it. It can oftentimes be subtle, sometimes not even make sense, but it's always sort of, when it comes, we need to pay attention to it. Does that make sense? So pay close attention around the midweek for whatever it is your intuition may be telling you, how it's guiding you. Again, that web to me makes me feel connected to the universe around us in a more spiritual manner, obviously, because the web is more delicate and outreaching, but it's similar to that tree that the Queen of Pentacles has, right? Where we connect almost in the early part of the week to ourselves and to the world in a very physical way, and how we care for ourselves and the world around us. The High Priestess is going to have us connect in a more, say, spiritual way, or through our intuition. She's more of an observer rather than a doer, right? So we might find ourselves watching situations going on around us, or watching people's behaviors and keeping silent as we take notes, right? But from those notes that we're taking, we're going to gain probably very strong and important understandings as to what is going on around us and why. Okay, so just pay attention to that. And then, oh Jesus, the last card of the week is the Tower. Okay, card number 16, which is a 7. 7s are about, to me, numerologically, about making a conscious choice. Okay. I'm going to just say this. Something is coming, and maybe it's just the turning of the new year, right? Maybe it's the what do we want to get rid of before 2022 gets here? Because this ends out the week on the tower. The tower is always about, how do I want to explain this? The tower is always the card that is showing us where we are at our weakest, where our foundations are not stable. And what I mean by foundations, I mean like in relationships, in situations, jobs, career choices, friendships, wherever we feel like, we thought that this was working, but it's not. This is sort of the destruction of that. And it's outside of our own hands, right? That's why we have this lightning strike coming down and striking down the tower and sort of, in essence, burning it to the ground. The tower, this could be a simple card just letting us know hasta la vista 2021, right? I mean, for some of you, it could be just that simple. We're letting 2021 go, dropping it all at the wayside, moving forward with the intuition of the High Priestess and the strength of the Queen of Pentacles into a new 2022 where we treat ourselves differently, where we trust ourselves a little bit more, where we care for ourselves a little bit better. All of that could be what these cards are telling us from a very simplistic place, right? But for some of you, if there's more specific situations that are a little bit more dire or feeling a little bit more intense as they change, my advice to you when seeing this card is don't resist the change. Allow the change and the shift to happen, flow with it, use it as an opportunity to see what's to come. It will appear as though it's an ending. The tower always appears as though it's an ending, but really, ultimately, it's a new beginning, right? And that's why I kind of find it interesting that it's showing up right on the 1st at the new year. It could just be like we're leaving behind the year we've just had and moving into the year of new, but we need to let that year fall away, right? We have this dawning sun, we have this shooting star, and ultimately at the bottom of this lightning crack, we have the white bird, this dove of peace, meaning maintain your peace as you move through this transition. Don't fret and fuss about like, well, they said this, or I was treated this way, or I can't let that go because they did that to me 6 months ago. Let it go. Move into 2022 with a fresh mindset, with a fresh perspective, and allow that perspective to sort of, I almost said rot away, but maybe that's the right word. Let that fresh perspective allow whatever's outdated, no longer needed, or has not been working for a while to fall away, to fall apart. And don't hold on too tightly. I mean, that's definitely the key here. These two ladies in the front, right? We have the Queen of Pentacles and the High Priestess. They're going to guide us through this week, preparing us for the changes that happen at the end of the year. And those changes will ultimately be for our benefit as long as we trust ourselves, our own sort of self-care, and our own sort of intuition around what is going on around us. The High Priestess is going to show us a few things in the midweek as to why things maybe need to change. And so hopefully we roll with those changes rather than fight against them. If we fight against them, that's when the tower becomes a painful struggle bus, shit situation that we don't want to deal with, right? But we don't have to be that way. We don't have to experience it in that way. We can experience it as, like I said, a new dawn. We can experience as having peace within it. And also the shooting star to me gives me this sort of cosmic vibe to it, meaning like, you know what, whatever is changing for us, whatever it is that we're letting go or walking away from, we need it to. It's time. And we've maybe put it off for too long. Now it's time to sort of move forward. So, God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, is stepping in and affecting those changes for us on our behalf. Okay? Let's look at the Heal Yourself card for the week. Let's see what they want us to know. She's back. Self-sabotage, card number 2. This is the relationship to the self and the candle being snuffed out. For those of you that are getting in your own way, stop. Stop. The tower is going to show us where we're getting in our own way. The high priestess is here to indicate to us deeper in our gut. If we're not listening to her voices, if we're not listening to those gut instincts that are telling us, you know what, is this really the right thing for me? Is this the good thing for me? We need to be. Because if not, we're just going to sort of run ourselves into the ground with this tower situation. Self-sabotage is about getting in our own way, even though we're aware of it or we're not, how do I want to say it? It's sort of like that idea. There's this thing called the definition of insanity, right? Where you repeat the same behaviors over and over again, expecting different results. That to me is self sabotage, right? That to me is like sort of like keep going back to a situation, a relationship, a behavior that does not serve you. And you know the results, you've done it a million times over, and the tower is about to show you that. Right, in a very profound and big way. You've got signals coming to you throughout the early part of the week through the Queen of Pentacles and the High Priestess, both mothering, nurturing, loving cards that want to show you like, hey, look, we don't have to do this to ourselves anymore. Self-sabotage is going to free us, right? It's going to get us to stop doing whatever it is that we've been doing that doesn't work for us any longer. I am going to read to you self-sabotage just because I like to read these stories because they come with little tasks to do. And remember, this is something that we're like looking at throughout the week. Self-sabotage isn't like the end of the world, right? It's just something that everybody does to themselves. And so we're still working on areas where we hold ourselves back through fear or insecurity, or we tell ourselves, I can't do this. And we're listening to voices in our head that aren't actually true. There's voices in our head coming from the Queen of Pentacles and from that High Priestess that might be harder to hear or harder to understand and trust. But if we do trust them, changes and shifts will abound through that Tower card like we won't believe, and they will ultimately be for our own benefit, okay? So self-sabotage. Become conscious of how your inner saboteur functions. You are about to sabotage a big opportunity. Now is the time to stop procrastinating and cease focusing your energy on why you are unworthy of wonderful, enriching experiences. When you connect to the saboteur archetype, you begin to recognize all the ways you pass up interesting opportunities and relationships which could make you grow, learn, evolve, and become fulfilled. The saboteur is terrified of change and guards your heart from that which is meaningful to you, with the misguided belief that if you don't try, you can't fail. It forgets that if you don't escape from your comfort zone, you cannot succeed and experience the love and joy which would fulfill you. So that comfort zone could be the Tower card, where things are being shaken up in your comfort zone area to force you out of this mode. On the higher side of the saboteur can help you connect to your intuition, that would be the High Priestess, and help you listen to your deeper wisdom. It can assist you in deciphering a potentially dangerous situation from an exciting one. Okay? So, yes, there's excitement in the Tower, and yes, there is potential danger in the Tower, but I honestly always believe that if we resist the Tower, whatever you resist will persist, right? And it's this let go or be dragged kind of attitude. If we allow ourselves to resist the situation, we're going to get dragged by it. We can't fight the Tower. We can't fight the destruction that comes with the Tower or the change that comes with the Tower. So don't fight it. Be open to it. Let your inner wisdom guide you through it. Let the groundedness of the Queen of Pentacles guide you through it as you self-care your way through the end of this year. Even if it's just as simple as a reflection of how 2021 went and what we don't want to do to ourselves in 2022. That's what the cards are asking us to look at. Now, action. Take a few deep breaths and become conscious of where in your body you feel like you are limiting yourself. Place your hands on that part of your body. Visualize your saboteur archetype. It may look similar to this card or like a shadow aspect of you. Ask this part of yourself to show you how you miss out on or sabotage your relationships, career, money, health, and other aspects of your life where you are not fulfilled. Become aware of your patterns. ones. Make a commitment to yourself to start focusing on your strengths rather than your weaknesses, and welcome new experiences into your life. So again, self-sabotage is not a bad card. It's asking us to look at, where do we limit ourselves? Where do we tell ourselves we can't? And, I may be sitting here reading the cards to you guys, but like, these cards make sense to me. I have areas where I'm too scared to like stick myself out there, to be, too visible. And then I get mad because I'm like, well, the channel's not progressing, but I do have my own fears of ridicule or whatever, like, I'm just using this as an example. I posted that Facebook ad, and all I got was a bunch of people on my post trolling me, basically. And it really, I don't want to say that it hurt my feelings, because I understand that it's just angry people sitting behind a keyboard, upset with the fact that they don't believe in whatever it is that I do. So therefore they need to stop and take the time to comment. What they don't understand is that algorithm, because they've commented, thinks that they want more of that. But it made for a rather unpleasant experience, because it felt like me putting myself out there, and the majority of the people that responded back, whether I knew them or not, complete strangers, were telling me that what I do is a pile of shit, that I'm a scammer, that I should be ashamed of myself. And I know that's not true, right? Personally, for myself, I know that I love what I do, and I know that I enjoy it. And whether people believe it, whether strangers believe it, whether it works for them or not, that shouldn't necessarily indicate whether or not I stop doing or continue forward in seeking success in what it is that I want to do, right? So that would be like sort of my own inner saboteur. So that's what I'm going to work on this week, is looking at that sort of stuff. Like, what does it look like if my YouTube channel got popular, and then I had, the comments that come along with that, the trolls that come along with that, because with more views comes more opinions, right? And so I have to think about that, right? Because I want it to grow, but I'm also underneath those layers. Am I fearful of it growing and having to fend off trolls? Probably. I don't want that headache, right? But, trolls are a part of life, I guess. Now, here is our grounding stone for the week. I love this grounding stone. It's perfect. We've just celebrated the birth of the Christ child. For those of you that celebrate on the 25th, this is being filmed on the morning of Christmas, right? Because I film a day early. But the word is peace. Maintaining our own internal peace is going to be the focus this week, guys. We see peace in the groundedness and the nurturing of the Queen of Pentacles. We see spiritual and intuitional peace in the High Priestess, trusting ourselves, right? Now, I don't see peace necessarily in the Tower. I see that dove, which represents peace. He's even got that the little olive branch or whatever in his mouth, right? And to me, that's a symbol of, obviously, a religious symbol of Christ and all of that. And I don't consider myself necessarily religious, but that dove represents the fact that we can be peaceful even in the midst of drastic or tragic change, right? We can also be peaceful when sort of attempting to visit or sit with our inner saboteur. Wherever we limit ourselves, we can approach that aspect of ourselves in peace, in harmony, in acceptance, and then have a discussion with it, and then start to understand why it's not working for us and why we can let it go. And then we can move into 2022, which is a 222 number, which is also about angel number, and it's also, boils down to a 6, which is about balance. We can move into this new year with this sense of peace and sort of set the tone for the year to come. Does that make sense? So grounding in our own internal centered peace is the focus this week, even if we are struggling with areas where we limit ourselves. Don't allow that limitation to undo us. Don't allow the change of the Tower or the shifting of the Tower or even the secrecy of the High Priestess. If we're getting little blip messages from within ourselves that we're like, wait, that doesn't quite make sense, listen to it. Seek out that peace within yourself so that you can hear it clearly and fully understand it, to put it to the best use possible so that you can move forward into the new year empowered, grounded, nurtured, cared for, informed, all of that stuff. I see all of that stuff even in these cards. It should be an intense week, especially with the High Priestess and the Tower being there, both major arcana, and then we have a court card. So expect big changes, even if they come somewhat subtly, and maintain that peace at all costs this week. That is your forecast for the week. I hope you enjoyed it. Please hit the thumbs up button. I'm sorry I went a little long. Share it out, leave me a question or comment, and I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow so we can see how this energy builds and how things may change or course may change as we move forward. Take care and have a wonderful day, you guys. Bye-bye.